the boy never imagined. The demon with teleportation magic would be so tricky. First, the magic spear not only has extremely fast speed, its power can easily penetrate 2 layers of barriers, but this is also okay. As long as you maintain 3 layers of barriers at all times, you can block the offensive of the magic spear. However, the demon's second move, Cursed Speech, followed closely, because it is purely magical power, so it can directly penetrate the barrier. Once hit, it will die immediately. Originally, the speed of this instant death magic is not fast, but Gisarm actually attached this move to the magic spear, completely made up for the slow speed of Cursed Speech. But it's not over yet. Gisarm's third move, Shadow Wolf. It is the most troublesome move for Lloyd. Once you stay in the same place for more than 2 seconds, will be locked by Gisarm and use Shadow Wolf. This also caused Lloyd to have to keep moving quickly, compared to Lloyd's running around. Gisarm is a magic turret, trying to exhaust Lloyd's physical strength with endless magic. This kind of willful tactic, only the demon with extremely large magic power can use it, and Lloyd was also very annoyed by the attack, so he tried to switch from defense to offense. With a faster chanting speed than Shadow Wolf, launch a magic attack within 2 seconds. The huge magma fist attacked Gisarm. Unfortunately, he avoided it with instant magic. Lloyd's magic dried up the entire lake. This also caused a lot of steam to rise around. Seeing that the naked eye cannot detect the enemy, so Lloyd used the perception of chi techniques. Gisarm can teleport to any place at any time. Lloyd relied on this skill to get the opponent's position before. At this time, Grim reminded Lloyd to keep moving, but when Lloyd was flying, he thought of a strange place. The time I just stayed has clearly exceeded 2 seconds. Why didn't the other party take the opportunity to launch an attack? And how does Gisarm lock the position? Gisarm once said, if the people of the assassination guild run away, even he would have a hard time finding their position. So I set up a trap to trick them over. That is to say, teleportation magic must have some activation conditions. Lloyd guessed that this condition is vision. Thinking of this, he stopped immediately. Sure enough, Gisarm did not launch any magic against him. In this way, these steams are beneficial to Lloyd. At this time, as long as Lloyd launches magic, he will definitely hit the enemy. But he just wanted to fight with the magic sword in his hand, even if he can't beat the opponent in close combat. He also wants to cut the opponent with this sword, and the tactics Lloyd adopted. It is countless mud dolls. Gisarm never expected the opponent would actually use this tactic. Even he can't see where the real body is. However, he is not flustered. Instead, he actively took all the attacks. Through the feeling of piercing the body, he judged that only the sword on the neck is real. The next second, Lloyd was pierced by Shadow Wolf. At the same time, Gisarm's injuries have recovered. He speculated that Lloyd saw that magic was ineffective against the demon, so he risked his life to get close with the sword. He said lightly, in fact, physical attacks have no effect on him. Even if the heart and brain are destroyed, he can regenerate quickly. Jade kept committing suicide before. It was saved by my recovery ability. Gisarm thought Lloyd was dead, so he was very proud. But he suddenly found out, the dolls on his body and around him, there is no sign of disappearance at all. At this time, Gisarm noticed that the dolls were fake, but the sword is real. Everything is just Lloyd's plan to confuse the enemy. For a while, both sides fell into a stalemate again. Lloyd took the initiative to attack, burned all the opponent's clothes, but it didn't cause any harm to the opponent. Gisarm teleported the clothes to his body. If you know the coordinates in advance, even items outside the field of vision can be teleported. But his few teleportation magics, but there is nothing to do with the simple and brutal dolls tactic. The same is true for Lloyd. Although there are many earth dolls, but they can only make simple actions at most. Sooner or later they will be cracked by Gisarm. But in order to achieve a certain goal, Lloyd knew the danger and insisted on continuing to fight in close combat. The next second, Gisarm thought of a way. That is to use magic to eliminate all dolls. For a while, many dolls were pierced by the magic spear. One of them was blocked by the barrier. Gisarm thought this was the real body. I didn't expect this one to be an earth doll too. And the real Lloyd is actually invisible and not far from him. The reason Lloyd wants to fight in close quarters despite the danger, it's actually because of this special magic sword. When making this sword, he incorporated the spell-take formula into the sword body. Its effect is to analyze various magics. And at this moment, Lloyd wants to use this spell-taker to analyze Gisarm's Shadow Wolf, and Grim is speechless to Lloyd. Just to study this magic, he actually risked his life to engage in close combat. He really wanted to persuade Lloyd to run away, but he knew this little punk would definitely not run, because he is a full-fledged magic madman. At this moment, Lloyd has already cut Shadow Wolf. He entered the world of Shadow Wolf. Here he saw the legacy left by Jade. Then Lloyd lifted all the magic. Seeing the wounds on Lloyd's face, Gisarm realized that the other party had not used a barrier all along. This crazy tactic, even he is a bit admirable. He knows that the little punk in front of him is the same as himself. Some place in my heart has collapsed long ago. Gisarm thinks Lloyd and himself are the same kind of people. Even invited Lloyd to be a companion. But Lloyd did not respond to him. Instead, he said to himself, you seem to be born extremely strong, but that's it. Humans are very weak, born with various constraints. But because of this, strength can be accumulated continuously. Magic was born like this. Want to fly? There is flying magic. Want to emit flames? There is flame magic. Each of these spells originates from human dreams. Gisarm couldn't understand what the other party was saying. Since you don't want to obey, then go to death. But Gisarm never expected. Lloyd actually saw through his transfer coordinates. A punch directly hit the abdomen, and this attack is very effective. It turns out that this punch Lloyd used chi techniques. It's not just a physical attack anymore. In fact, the moment Lloyd cut Shadow Wolf, he has achieved his goal. So he doesn't plan to stay anymore. He let Gisarm use a few more tricks to show him, whether it's a magic spear or cursed speech before. They are all advanced skills of Grim and Crow. Don't you have your own moves? Even Shadow Wolf is Jade's magic. Jade must have said something to you before she died. Thinking of this, Gisarm was extremely angry. Planned to teach Lloyd a lesson. unexpectedly, just appeared from the teleportation. What came head-on was a kick. Geesarm really didn't understand how the other party mastered the coordinates. He was pierced by a magic attack to the soil layer, and below is all deadly magma. If it sinks under the magma, even Geesarm can't recover all the time. He teleported to the top of the field of vision again, but Lloyd's attack followed closely. Being so humiliated, Geesarm is finally going to show his true strength.